Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Just getting ready for Game 2 of the Halifax League of Legends Finals for Frank for Cancer 2013. Thank God for this. AMP. Sponsor.
Shoutouts to caffeine.
Sponsor Frag. Do it. I am running this hype train for Frag when in terms of getting us sponsors. I swear to God. I'm going to just call AMP and be like, yeah, sponsors. But going over the game that we just saw, that was game number 1 between EzDunk and the bigger men. We saw a pretty strong game from both teams, but the bigger men at the end of the game were just too strong. They had the Zach being just a monster. Renekton was completely immovable. No one could touch him.
Yeah.
And they were able to kind of just keep forcing their dominance over the game.
Yeah, they managed to get the lead early and just maintain that. EzDunk managed to keep that lead from growing too fast, but it was even for a while, and then a bad engage happens and it went a little higher, and then it's even for a while, and then a bad engage happens and it goes a little bit higher.
And as we called, we were watching that jungle, and Hamanichi did not, he did not fail to entertain me. His ganks were on point. He was a solid. He was way ahead. Honestly, it was impressive to watch.
Yeah, his plays were pretty amazing. You don't usually see Zach now too much now after his nerfs, but this game shows how powerful Zach still is.
Yeah, exactly. There was a point where everyone thought that once Zach got his little nerfs, he would fall off the face of the earth. Very clearly, he's still pretty strong.
Yep.
And honestly, like we were talking about this last game, the ball delivery system between that Zach and Orianna was pretty much what we expected it to be. It was Zach shows up from the fog of war, and then boom.
Yep. And if for whatever reason Zach isn't there, Renekton makes a great replacement.
Yeah, exactly. And Renekton, once he ulted, he was like over 4,500 health or something like that.
Yeah, he was the raid boss at that point.
Yeah, exactly. He was a raid boss, exactly. He was like I wouldn't say 4. He's like a 10-man, I would say. little thing for all you WoW players out there. He was definitely a 10-man. Yeah. But now we're getting ready for game number 2. Again, this is Frag for Cancer 8, so this year we're doing the picks and bans outside of the game. It's kind of already predetermined once we get into the game. So we have our picks and bans already right in front of us here.
Yep.
And we are actually just currently looking over to my side here, waiting for that lobby to be created, and then we will be good to go.
Yep. It is interesting to note that the bans are very similar to last game.
Yeah.
Biggerman actually has the exact same bans as they did previously.
Yep, they do. For those of you who were watching last game, you would know that there is the same bans of Lux, Vayne, and Ari.
Well, EzDunk decided to ban Zyra again, and then after how impactful Kate and Orianna have been in that last game, decided to ban both Kate and Orianna.
Yeah, exactly. And Caitlyn was one of those champions that, Caitlyn's strong, and she can do really well. And if she gets ahead, it's just even worse. And she got very far ahead early in the game and just snowballed.
Yeah. Ezreal eventually managed to get fed and even get more fed than Caitlyn was, but just how powerful, how good play that she's had, and how powerful she was. She just maintained being a very strong person.
And as mentioned, we do have our bans coming out here. Garen, Akali, and Yorick. Most OP champions in the game right now. And did want to remind everybody actually that while we are seeing it as a joke on the screen, unfortunately, Jinx is a global ban this year. So I do apologize. We're not going to see any Jinx this year. Yep. But Sejuani definitely will be locked in, and we have that Thresh coming out from the bigger men. Thresh Prince, I am very excited to see how that goes actually.
Yeah. It's gonna be great to see. Like he's usually like in solo queue, especially someone who's always first pick, first ban. He's one of those big threats, and even in tournament play, he's very threatening. No, he wasn't picked or banned last game. So
he was not.
Interesting.
He does make it through this round. Lesbian Squirtle will pick up that Tristana, and we will see Sejuani in the jungle. Sejuani, interesting pickup, but as a response, Varus in the bottom lane with Elise. It looks like probably going to be going in that jungle.
Indeed.
Annie and Renekton. Renekton going over actually in the favor of
this. There seems to be an error here. Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Orianna was banned by EzDunk, and Biggerman has accidentally locked that in. So we're just going to remake this and get back into it pretty soon.
Yep, exactly.
So just hold on as we
are
get this going.
remaking that. And there we go. So they are just getting back into the game there. Oriana, as mentioned, was banned, so unfortunately we can't be picking that one out.
Yep. And again, those bans were from Bigger Men, Lux, Vayne, and Ari, and the bans from EzDunk, Zyra, Kate, and Oriana.
And there we go. We are back into the game now, so we're just going to see the rapid-fire picks and bans back on the both of these teams here. Interesting to note, Renekton actually being picked up this time by EzDunk, not really wanting to give that one over. Renekton is a very strong champion right now.
Yeah. It was either between banning Renekton or first picking, because they did not want to give over that Renekton.
Yeah, last time the Malphite and Renekton lane was we called that it was going to be a farming lane, but it just got to the point where Renekton was just too strong.
Yeah.
And Malphite being a mana hungry champion and Renekton being resourceless, it was only really a matter of time before Renekton kind of got that far ahead. And he was able to just snowball his lane and become just an unstoppable force.
They're both immovable objects, just one has a little bit more sustain than the other.
We actually will see a Nasus pickup coming in here from the Bigger Men.
Yep. It's a very interesting pick, and it appears to be in the top lane as well. Something that you don't usually see, but is very strange, very powerful.
Now with those bans, we see that Lux and Ari, that is actually being targeted directly at Kothrillakilla. He apparently... for what I'm understanding here, is that those are his two main champions.
Yep, he plays a significant amount of Lux. He boasts a very high win rate of 57% with over 200 wins with Lux.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is very successful with that champion.
And the Bigger Men, it seems like they are going for more targeted bans. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at the bans here. Zyra obviously targeted at the support player. Kate obviously after last game that's targeted, but that wasn't really preemptive. This is like a reactive bans.
Well, Bigger Men kept these same bans, which are target bans. Lux, of course, with Kothrilla, and Vayne targeted against.
Actually, I believe Vayne was Vayne was, and then of course, yes, you are right. Vayne was a serious. Yes, Lesbian Squirtle, very much so, a very strong Vayne player. We've seen some incredible diamond mechanics coming in from him in past tournaments. So you are absolutely right.
It will be interesting to see how he goes with Tristana. Tristana being another champion that he's very proficient and actually has the highest win rate of all of his main ADCs with a 65% win rate.
And we are underway here, so we have that 3-minute delay on the stream and in the game. So right now we are just currently waiting for the game to start.
Yep.
We haven't thanked our sponsors in a little while. I think we should probably do that.
I think we should.
Yep. So sponsors of the stream and of Bell Fiber Op, they've been sponsoring Frag for Cancer now for a while. 101.3 The Bounce, providing excellent DJing all week long, and these free lanyards I have in my pocket, which is nice.
Yep.
Brilliance Computer Technologies, big thanks for them for actually providing us with 10 computers that we could use all weekend, and Cooler Master. I think providing Cooler Master things.
Yep.
Lovely cases. We're going to go with that. Lovely cases. Ralston Arcade. Big shout out to Ralston Arcade for actually keeping this stream going and working it professionally all day and all day yesterday, doing an incredibly good job. Monroe Computer Sales and Services, and the Last Game Store, of course, for providing more swag.
Yep, all these sponsors have been so helpful in order to make this possible and raise a lot of money for cancer research. A really big thank you for all the sponsors this year.
Absolutely, and let's not forget about you folks. You guys, without you guys, we wouldn't have this tournament either. Showing up, playing your video games, whatever you want to play, all in benefit for these charities that we do support. So we like to thank the fans and thank the people who come out as well. And another big thank you to the actual tournament organizers. Yazid did a great job this year in organizing this Frag for Cancer. Yep. And honestly, this one it's went off incredibly well.
Yep, there's a few hitches here and there, but none of that really being an organizational problem. It's been really well put together, and as we said before, we're ahead of time, which is something unheard of when it comes to tournaments like this.
Exactly. So you got to know that something's being done right, I do believe, actually, for those of you who are still in the building, I believe we actually do still have some T-shirts available. If you could give me a nod there, Yazid, if we have T-shirts still available. Do we have those T-shirts? We're going to go with a yes. We think we still have T-shirts still available, so if you guys would like to pick up some last-minute swag just to support more cancer research, please go ahead and do so. I believe they are $25.
Yep.
So we are about 30 seconds away here from actually getting into the game. Now, we've thanked everybody, and everyone's all heartwarmed and all that, but let's get back into League of Legends.
Yep.
Let's think about this for a second here. Based on what you're seeing here of the team compositions, who do you give the advantage to?
Well, I do really like that Nasus top lane. I played quite a lot for that, so I have a little bit of a sweet spot for that. But both teams have really strong team comps. I'm going to give it a...
I'm saying screen. This is the screen right over here. That's
Yep.
where we're looking.
Oh, yeah.
Nasus actually picked up teleport. Kind of interesting.
Yep, to be everywhere at every time. Just to be there, that's one thing. He's normally just up the top lane, constantly farming, he comes out of there at 30 minutes into the game and just kills everything.
Yep.
But until then, he's not doing anything. That teleport allows him to join into these engage while still getting a lot of stacks on a siphoning strike.
Yeah, exactly. He picked up Ghost as well as that teleport, so we are into the loading screens right now, just waiting for those champions to log in there, or sorry, load into the screen. Actually, while we're waiting, we actually see the cleanse pick up on that Tristana, possibly trying to get away from either the Elise Cocoon or that Nasus. What am I trying to say here? The
Wither.
Wither. That's it. I had the biggest problem with Nasus's Wither for the longest time, and I can't say the words that I used to call it over stream, but it went something like baloney, poop, Wither.
Yeah, it's an extremely powerful ability, and like back before he was found to be powerful and like the buffs that was given to him, that was still an extremely powerful move. It was made Nasus had a lot of his power in that one move, and it was just underappreciated. The buffs that he received threw him into the limelight, and then everyone could actually appreciate how amazingly strong Wither is.
And sticking to the script here, there is that pause at the beginning of the game here. We're not actually quite sure what that is for, but it looks like it's getting resolved right now already. So that was 3 minutes ago, so we should be into the game hopefully fairly shortly here. And no real item picks yet. Both supports have gone with that. Have gone with that build with the Total Biscuit as well as that Explorer's Ward. So,
and it's nice to see Kale actually get some play, being a very very strong champion. Most likely in the mid lane with any support. Being any support is a thing that is being seen more and more. It's extremely popular in Asia, and a lot of the top teams from Asia play that and get target bans. Like it's perma-banned against them.
yeah, you're
extremely
absolutely
powerful. Plays a little bit differently. It's a different sort of type of support than the traditional.
Very high pressure support.
Yeah, it's different than what's generally considered a support, but that doesn't make it any less effective.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing with Annie is that she brings that AoE stun
Yeah.
to a team fight. She can just Tibbers an entire team, and once you get caught in that Tibbers, she can also start doing some damage. Just so
Yeah.
the pickup of a Kage's lucky pick.
Yeah, her base damages are quite high, and just the amount of presence and power, and like what she brings, very similar to how Zyra has that great burst. Annie also has some very great burst, and the persistent damage of Tibbers is something you can't ignore, even as support Annie.
Exactly. You really don't want to get caught out by 5-man Tibbers. No one likes that.
No.
But I think that the big thing that I'm going to be watching for this game is actually going to be how that Kale is able to do in that mid lane. Kale versus that Gragas. Gragas has been seeing a lot more play now after the Worlds and International play kind of brought him back to the scene.
Yep.
And Kale is still somewhat reserved. We don't see a Kale as much.
Kale is a little bit more of a unique champion of how she's generally played, especially in the mid lane. She's extremely versatile, able to go to every role, actually.
Yeah.
But just how she plays, like as a AP champion mid, she's AP in mid, but emphasizes her auto attacks, which is something a little bit not common. There's other AP champions like Fizz that have empowered auto attacks with their AP, but Kale sort of emphasizes that over the burst that, say, Fizz has.
So we're basically just still waiting on that pause there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put the screen back towards us so that we can kind of chat a little bit to you there on the stream. And there we are. Here we go. So while we're waiting for that pause to kind of go off there, it looks like as mentioned, they are working on that issue. So they have fixed that, and we are just waiting at this point, of course, of the delay to get back into the stream. So after everything's said and done there with these champions, actually I'm really like the Nasus we haven't talked about either. I'm actually really surprised to see a top lane Nasus as opposed to a jungle Nasus.
Yep. In the top lane, Nasus is able to get significantly more siphoning strikes than would he be in the jungle. He's thought generally to have a weak laning phase, or that's what people said before when he wasn't popular. But now with people can appreciate the power that his passive plus lifesteal quints give him 20% lifesteal at level 1, which is just amazing. You try to harass him down, and he just lifesteals back up from the minions.
Yes, yeah, you're absolutely right.
And of course, he can also lifesteal with his siphoning strikes. The more powerful that gets, the more life he gets back from that skill.
It's going to be Battle of the Brothers up in the top lane, Renekton versus Nasus, so we should see some interesting plays here. Agent Sneaky Fellow actually deciding to go for that Renekton, and he actually doesn't play a whole lot of Renekton. It's not one of his main champions, so I'm kind of surprised to see that he would go with that.
Yeah. Although you must admit that Agent Sneaky Fellow has a very broad champion pool. It's hard to counterban him or to target him, because you ban 3, you use all your bans on your first pick on something, he'll go to another thing. He's very versatile in what he picks.
I think he picked the Renekton so that the bigger men didn't. I was more of expecting to see something like him pull out his Lee Sin or Darius, something like that. Something that he plays a lot of. Singed was open actually this game.
He's well known for, especially on his lead, just running through the enemy jungle with 5 people chasing him and getting away without dying.
Yeah, and he's an incredibly good player. I mean, back in the tournament a few games ago, he actually ended up building a Triforce on Vladimir and still doing pretty well. So, he's a strong player, and yeah, again, I was kind of more expecting to see something that he plays a lot of. I know he does play Renekton, but it's not something that I'm used to seeing him on.
Using it more as a 4th ban. Than,
exactly, like a targeted 4th ban.
And it's not a bad choice. Renekton is extremely powerful, especially as we've seen last game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As soon as Renekton gets going, he can pretty much force a team to go the way that he wants it to go. Actually, another thing kind of interesting in the jungle is Sejuani. Haven't seen a whole lot of Sejuani this tournament at all. Yeah,
Sejuani is well known in solo queue to be an extremely powerful champion, but just isn't seen that often in competitive play. Has very strong CC and basically has a Malphite ult on her regular ability.
And there we go. We are back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2 of the Frag for Cancer League of Legends not World Finals. Yeah, you know what? World Finals. We're going with that. We're the only frag in the world. So there you go.
We're more important than the other people.
Exactly. So. And it looks like everything's, again, standard starts here. We see that Doran's Shield on Renekton and Doran's Shield on Nasus. Those two will be starting out. Another kind of farm lane. Both of the AD carries electing to go for that Doran's Blade.
Yep, just so powerful as your first item.
Actually, it's exactly the same. Everyone's picked up the exact same amount of items. There's literally no difference.
Yep, the only slight difference is in the support items there. Thresh not picking up a regular sight ward.
Actually, I believe he just used it.
Oh.
Yeah, he just...
Okay, there you go.
So there was, at the start, an exact pickup there. Bigger men actually in the bottom lane, possibly doing some blue cheese here, trying to get up here and find maybe a member or two. They're not going to find anything. However, they will be spotted out by a ward, and they will pink that ward down. There's the first real test of the game there. So they will have a timer on that blue buff.
Still not doing anything too aggressive, just going in, warding, getting back in your jungle. Not anything risky, not taking any big risk that could push the game out of their favor.
And we will actually see the possible shift over to that blue buff.
And I stand corrected.
From the Sejuani electing to not go for red. This could actually possibly be a catch here. Nope, and I lied. There we go. They're going to decide to go for that red.
They want to do some aggressive plays and catch some people up, but the risk is so great as well. And if they were to lose this, they would definitely hurt.
And I don't think the bigger men, it doesn't look like they're going to try and go for anything too crazy either. They're just going to go start at their own standard red buff as well. They're just going to try and get that timer on that blue if they possibly can. So everything's starting out pretty standard in the early game here so far.
And it's actually interesting. We're going to have a 2v1 up top. Something that we've not seen a whole lot of in this tournament so far. If any, I'm not aware of any matches that have gone like that.
Exactly. This is the first lane switch I've actually seen so far. So we will see how well that Renekton can actually do in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and really countering that Nasus, because Nasus needs to get his siphoning strikes. And when you're up like that, although Nasus does have that insane lifesteal and sustain, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes on.
I would give the favor for Renekton in terms of actually what it's going to do to his game. As you just mentioned, that siphoning strike, it's something that Nasus needs. But Renekton itself, he doesn't actually need the same amount of farm to be effective. He just needs a couple items.
Yeah. Although if Thresh gets one hook on Renekton, the amount of damage that Varus can do is just immense, especially since Varus has % health damage as well, which helps him deal with bruisers and tankier people, and makes it so that stacking health isn't nearly as effective against Varus as it is against other champions.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We will see if this is going to be a tower rush kind of game to see which team will be taking the first one. Looks like both teams are going to reach that tower at about the same time. Asian League Bell doing what he can to kind of just farm it up. Although taking a lot of harass under the tower, he is going very, very low here. That hail of arrows landing is reducing the healing a little bit more.
Yep, and only managing to get so far 2 CS to
Asian League Bell actually gets hooked out by Thresh. He's way caught out. He's definitely going to die here. Varus going to go for one last hit. First blood actually lands onto Thresh. Thresh will actually be picking up a kill. Annie will be getting a kill onto that, at least there in the top lane, and there will be a chase here on the Nicholas Rage. I don't know actually what happened there, but the jungler for Bigger Men was actually taken down in an exchange in the top lane.
Interesting.
That was, I did not expect that either.
Yep.
But the first blood does come out for the Bigger Men. They were able to pick up the kill just a little bit before Annie was able to pick up the kill on the Elise, only really a couple seconds away.
And that's a big thing about 2v1 lanes.
And actually, there's a gank in the bottom lane. Kale coming down from the mid lane. Going to try and get some damage onto that Thresh. She will pop the Ignite, but I don't think she's going to be able to pick it up. She does flash for it, picks up the kill, able to walk away. Sejuani taking some tower shots, but she's going to walk away as well. And there's no way this Varus is going to be able to chase onto her.
No. And that's the thing about 2v1 lanes. When jungle ganks, if you gank a 2v1 lane, it's a 2v2. You don't have an advantage, say, 2v1 like you would in other lanes in the traditional 1v1 top. So you really need to have the advantage or catch out the other people in order to have a successful gank, because they can just turn it around on you.
Now with that kill in the jungle, that Elise will be a little bit further behind that Sejuani. She will be walking back out. I believe that with her first item of the game there. And there is another pause, actually, unfortunately. All right, this one I've been told is only for about a minute or two.
Just going to quickly get back in there as soon as this has been dealt with.
And we're back on the camera.
Yay.
You missed our faces. We know it. You don't have to say it. So, how's everybody doing at home? Hopefully you're doing well. If you're doing well at home, type that in the Twitch chat.
Yep.
I know you all have snacks. Pop. Wow, man.
What are we at now? Viewer count?
We are at 108. 180 of you lovely people.
It's pretty good.
It is, it is. All right. So, as mentioned, we are just waiting on that pause here for game number 2. We're only a couple minutes in, and we've already seen it. Yeah, exactly. And we've already seen a couple kills. So the early game, this game is a little bit more aggressive so far than it was last game. It took a little bit to actually get a kill last game, but already we're at a 2 for 1. I believe for the for EzDunk. EzDunk is ahead 2 for 1.
But it's still quite early in the game for these, and people haven't gone back to buy yet. So this gold advantage isn't anything until people buy. You're
right. You're absolutely right there. Now, Elise walked back into the jungle, and forgive me, I forget the name of that item. She picked up the
Hunter's Machete? Spirit Stone?
Spirit Stone. That's the thing she picked up. So she picked up her Spirit Stone. Now, Elise, it looks like she's probably going to be building into something tanky. She wants to be in the middle of a team fight.
Yep.
So
Elise generally building the Spirit of the Ancient Golem to give her that extra tankiness. Although it's not uncommon to see Spirit of the Spectral Wraith on her, giving her that extra sustain in the jungle and extra damage there. Although she needs to get tanky in other means. Generally, you see that when you're already ahead.
And actually, Sejuani did not pick up an assist on the gank in the bottom lane there. She was a little bit far away in order to actually pick that one up. And I'm just taking a look at the game beside me there. It looks like the person DC'd, so there was a DC, unfortunately. But they are going to be back in the game in just a second there. So yes, Sejuani didn't actually pick up that assist there, so she doesn't actually benefit from that gank almost at all when Kale came to the bottom lane. So that's going to be something interesting to note.
Yep. It's still a net win for them, but just didn't go quite as well as it should. And Thresh also picked up the kill there, not...
Yeah, it wasn't Varus who actually picked up that kill. Thresh ended up getting first blood. We are back in the game. The pause will be coming off right now, and we're going to go back right up to the top lane where Nicholas Rage on that Nasus is taking a little bit of harass here. And he is about half health.
Yeah, and that healing debuff from Tristana really doing a number on Nasus' sustain there.
Asian Sneaky Fellow in the bottom lane. trying to get away. He is a little overextended right now in that 2v1. I'm just going to back it up. Nicholas Rage under his turret there, doing a little bit of passive farming. And the gold hasn't actually swung really in anybody's favor. And actually interesting to know, Flaky D up in the top lane there on his support, and he has picked up double buffs. So we're going to expect to see a lot of harass coming in from him.
That's one scary little child.
Actually, a teleport coming into the top lane. Nasus is back and immediately gets stunned up and takes a lot of damage, actually. Elise is actually looking for another gank, probably going to try and take back her buffs. Annie being taken very low. The Silent Spider will try to sink that kill. She will. That is a kill for Elise. There's a little bit of revenge for her.
Yeah, that ending just a little bit too forward, a little bit too aggressive for how valuable she is with those double buffs. And plus that one kill, which increases her gold bounty.
And Elise isn't done yet. She will land her Q onto Lesbian Squirtle, just letting him know I'm still here. Pick those double buffs back up. And actually, we're going to see a gank in the mid lane there. Sejuani does show up. Gragas is forced to pop his barrel, kind of knocking everybody away, but there is the slow coming in from Kale. A lot of damage, but no one's going to be able to pick up the kill there. Gragas will just body slam away.
Yep. Gragas is also doing very well in mid lane for himself. A full 10 CS above Kale at this early is a very big lead.
Asian Sneaky Fellow back down in that bottom lane. Fresh to take a tower shot, but not a big deal. They have that tower down to a little over half the health. So definitely the bottom lane going a little bit stronger for the bigger men right now.
Yep, and that's actually that mid lane being Gragas' favor is actually quite interesting. Kale is usually considered a very good counter to melee champions just because of how much ranged damage he can do.
Everybody getting a little aggressive here in the bottom lane. Renekton actually was pulled out from underneath the tower, ended up stunning up that Thresh there under the tower, not able to actually pick the kill up, and then Varus actually flashed for that kill. Not able to actually, no he did not, he went forward for that kill, not able to pick that one up. There is the Spider in the mid lane. Elise trying to pick up another kill onto Kokilla Thriller. He is actually going to have to pop his ultimate, and he is still possibly going to go down here. She will. Hamichi picking himself up a second kill in this game.
Yep, just trying to juke those skill shots and stuff, but just not enough to save his life.
That is 2 successful ganks in a row for Elise. She was able to pick up a kill in the top lane and the mid lane. Right now, Kokilla Thrilla is picking up that Fiendish Codex, going to walk back to his lane. Looks like he's probably going to be going for the standard Kale start there. Yep.
That standard start we talk about is generally a rush for Nashor's Tooth. Just increasing that AP scaling on her auto attacks to, I believe, 65%.
Lesbian Squirtle going to cleanse off that Wither just to take down the turret, and he will actually be picking that up. That is a first turret of the game there for EzDunk. Nicholas Rage actually pretty low. Actually, the flash coming in from Annie, getting a little aggressive here, but there is RoboCop.
Yeah, just not having that communication with Lesbian Squirtle there.
Elise is actually up in the top lane as well. There might be a turnaround here. Lesbian Squirtle going to try and possibly rocket jump out of there. Annie is surely going to die here. She is all caught out, and who's going to pick up the kill? They're going to give it to Nasus. Yeah. Nasus will pick that one up there.
Yeah, you have a spider, a dog, and a ghost going after a small child. What is she going to do?
Well, she was just going to give another kill over to the bigger men there, and they are going to extend their kill lead 4-2. They are about 1,000 gold ahead there, almost. And right at this point, they're going to probably try and push down this top turret as well. Going to extend their turret lead.
And this is something we saw last game. The top tower, EzDunk's top tower is taken so early by bigger men, and it seems to be going along the same lines this time as well.
In the mid lane, Kokilla Thrilla actually sitting with that blue buff, so he's not really hurting for mana at all. Captain Isano actually might get caught at his red buff here. Thresh going for the hook will whiff that. Yep. And that buff will just go over to Elise. And she's starting that dominance that she had last game as well.
Yeah. He's really been an extremely impactful player in all these games. One of the key reasons why they won last time, and is the reason why they have such a lead right now.
And speaking of leads, it looks like there's going to be a dragon coming in from EzDunk. They're going to try and pick this one up really sneaky. No one actually has any vision.
Taking that down pretty fast before bigger men can get in there and contest that.
Will just back away. Asian Sneaky Fellow has hit 6, so he is pretty strong right now in the early game. He does have his ultimate, which is pretty much all he needs. Lesbian Squirtle will just take to the bottom lane. Maybe try and get some farm here.
Yep. Just backing out. Don't want to overextend. The lane is pushed up so far, and don't want to die again.
And yet again, Lesbian Squirtle actually falling behind in the early game on that CS, so a little bit over, about 10.
Yep. This is what we also saw last game, although he managed to pull it around mid and late game to become the most fed member of his team.
Gragas going to pick up that free blue buff there. Thank you very much. He will walk back to his lane. And Kale looks like her blue buff might be running off fairly shortly here. Those two very close in terms of CS, actually.
Indeed. If that matchup is very skill-based, depending on how Kale uses her ult. If she can use her ult to absorb both Gragas' ult and regular barrel toss, that goes straight to her. Her sustain, she has a very high amount of sustained damage, similar to how an ADC would be, except scaling up AP.
Now, Lesbian Squirtle on Tristana isn't going to be as powerful in the early to mid game as he would be on another champion, but late game Tristana is one of the strongest champions in the game. Kale doing a fair amount of damage to the Thresh there, but Lesbian Squirtle's definitely just going to want to farm this one out for a little while, try and get as strong as he can. There is a lot of wards actually for EzDunk in that mid lane there. Yep. Around that river.
And it's interesting to see how both teams have sort of gone in sort of in-game build with they have Nasus, which is one of the biggest hyper carries. Nasus endgame is immensely powerful. But on the other side, you have Tristana and Kale.
Robocop might be caught out here. Thresh forced to flash. The Ignite is burning. And not going to be able to pick up. Oh, Captain Isano actually snipes the kill out with that ultimate. That is a free kill there.
Yep. Thresh thinking he could juke it, but the AoE damage on the explosion of her ult managed to pick up the kill.
And the entire time, Gragas as well as Renekton has been kind of going back and forth with each other. Renekton has not popped his ult just yet, still has that dominance available if Gragas decided to go a little bit more aggressive there. And I think actually he would have won that exchange, should have come down to it. A lot of damage there, still being done.
At least coming down bottom, trying to push that tower there. Yeah, it would be difficult to get a kill on both Tristana there and Annie. But
yeah, you're absolutely right, it would be.
But yeah, Nasus is doing quite well for himself. Tristana is level 7 while he's level 9, which is a really big gap there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And he is, again, just farming up that Q there, doing the best he can, trying to get as many stacks as he can there.
Not doing quite as well as Renekton is CS-wise, but he does have 1 kill over Renekton's 1 death.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in the bottom lane there, Vision kind of starting to run out there. Not a whole lot of wards around that Dragon Pit. I believe the first Dragon was picked up by EzDunk there. They were able to sneak that one out. Yep. Unlike last game, they actually do pick up the first Baron, whereas Bigger Man actually had, or sorry, first Dragon, as Bigger Man actually had all of them,
yep.
I believe, last game.
Yep, and it looks like they decided to switch back to the normal lanes with Nasus going up to meet his brother up top, and Varus saying hi to Tristana.
Now, right now, Varus, and there's that CS difference again. Tristana was able to bring it back. She was a little bit further behind. Now is currently even. Actually ended up electing to go for a BF sword over maybe like a Vampiric Scepter or something.
Every lane except the Nasus and Renekton are extremely even. Less than 10 difference between them. Nasus really needs to. He's going to want to have to pick up his CSing and get those siphoning strikes. He really don't want to have Nasus back.
And he is going to be picking up the first item of the game as the Glacial Shroud. So he's definitely going to be building that into a Frozen Heart at some point.
That's a very good item for Nasus because it gives him it's a bit of mana. His mana situation isn't too bad, but just 1 mana item makes it great. Plus that armor versus Renekton and basically their entire team. And that cooldown reduction, which reduces the cooldown on Siphoning Strike, allowing him to stack that up faster.
Exactly, and there's Co-Killer Thrill there. Back in the mid lane, just going to defend that a little bit. Renekton and Nasus duking it out with each other. Renekton is getting the better of this trade, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill Nasus just yet. At least Gragas actually going to be swinging up to the top there, maybe trying to pick up that Renekton while he's sleeping. And they do decide to just back it off there. Renekton will be walking over a ward.
Yep. Early game, Renekton definitely wins the battle between Nasus and Renekton, but later on, Nasus definitely pulls out and becomes the stronger of the two brothers. They're both ults. Nasus ult sort of countering Renekton's ult, both of them giving them HP, but Nasus is doing percent of health damage versus Renekton's base flat.
And as a Renekton main, I must just go ahead and vehemently disagree with you just on principle, but I do agree that Nasus and Renekton both very, very strong late-game champions.
Yes.
And Kale, at this point, still has a blue buff. She's had that for quite a while now. I think she's had both of the blue buffs. And there's the barrel actually coming in from Gragas. Gragas going hard here, trying to engage. There's the flash coming out from Kale. The Ignite was burned by Gragas, not able to actually pick up a kill there.
Yeah, that Kale ult didn't actually absorb anything, but it did stop Gragas from exploding his barrel. So it stopped the damage, even if it didn't absorb it itself.
Exactly, almost like a deterrence, almost like a deterrent nuke. You stay there, I stay here. I picked that lineup from Nova War. Actually, I completely greedy.
Had Kale ulted previously and absorbed the burst from Gragas, she might have been able to turn that around on him.
Less than a 500 gold lead actually this game for Bigger Men. That's a lot different than last game where they were at this point way ahead of EzDunk by at least a couple thousand. And right now the Dragon will be spawning. And
both teams there though. Both teams grouping around there with NASA still pushing top, going to get that turret there most likely.
And EzDunk needs to make something happen here if they want to actually be ahead in this fight. And Renekton actually will be popping his ultimate. He gets the Kale ultimate as well. He's right in the middle of the fight here, but it looks like Nasus will pick up that tower. And the Dragon actually, I don't believe, has been picked up just yet. So there's so far it's a completely free tower.
Yeah. Dragons respawn, towers don't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Kale actually all by herself. The Gragas ult will actually be whiffed. He's not going to catch her out. She's turning a lot of damage actually back around. Lesbian Squirtle coming in from the side there. And there's actually the teleport coming in from Nasus. And Kokilla Thrilla forced to walk away.
Yeah, that was overall a net success for...
I believe it actually just evened out there.
Yeah.
Because the Dragon pickup. But if this mid turret actually goes down, that's going to be a free win for Bigger Men. Yeah. There's Tristana trying to defend. Renekton actually going to be in the middle of the fight again. This could be a fight, but Renekton doesn't actually have an ultimate. Nasus is going to be popping his. Thresh is going to whiff that hook. Annie doing a lot as much as she can, trying to stun them up. And everyone's kind of just backing away. So whoa, 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 whoa.
The gold went pretty even, but Dragon is just worth overall 2 kills. Well, towers are also worth quite a lot, and they don't respond. The towers as an objective are more important than Dragon.
And that will open up a lot of map vision actually for the Bigger Man. They do have that first middle turret down, so they're going to have a little bit more room to work with today so far, and they're okay with that. They're all right with that exchange. They picked up, a couple no kills was actually picked up. Everyone then walked away from that one, but they picked up a kill in the top, a tower in the top. They picked up a tower in the mid lane, so they have a lot more room to work with right now.
They have 4 towers down to EzDunk's 1. EzDunk really needs to get pushing in those towers to even that divide.
At this point, that's really where the gold advantage is coming in, is those 3 towers. If this tower game wasn't actually so far ahead for the Bigger Men, they would actually be pretty much even in gold. But because of those 3 towers, they are really able to establish a very early gold lead.
Yep, it's not too massive right now. It's only around 1K, and that would be spread out among the members. So a small amount, each one about 200 gold more approximately. Not really enough for a particular item or so, but definitely not along the path that EzDunk would want.
And that kind of just highlights that right now EzDunk is farming overall better. Let's just take a look at it. Renekton, 110 CS to 99.
Yeah.
58 to 51. 131 to 137. That is a discrepancy there. And then 142 kind of tied. And speaking of tied, there goes that Tibbers in the bottom lane. Maybe a little bit preemptive, trying to as a deterrent there. And Squirtle just going to be farming here, but all 4 members of the Bigger Men are going to try and maybe go down here, and we might actually see a catch. That
was a very good lantern by Thresh there, completely whiffing Sejuani's ult.
Gragas ult will come back as a response, trying to deter a fight here. They will group up underneath their middle tower. Kokilla Thrilla doing a little what he can to heal himself up here. And there will be a 5-man push onto this middle tower. I don't think there's any real way right now that the Bigger Men can defend this. This will be a free tower for EzDunk. And are they going to go for something more? Sneaky Fellow actually diving in there and try and possibly get a fight going here. Elise might actually be caught out. She will have to walk away from this one. I don't think they want to keep fighting. However, Asian Sneaky Fellow getting caught out by himself.
Yep. But the rest of his team just preventing anyone.
And there's Dominus being popped. Asian Sneaky Fellow going hard onto Gragas. Will actually pick the kill up here, and he's going to keep going. Going to try and pick up the Thresh. Kokilla Thriller will actually pick that one up. Kale in the back lane, picking up a lot of damage. Lesbian Squirtle will be actually being taken very low there. He is in a lot of trouble. That Nasus is all over him. Will turn around. Double kill actually coming out from the Kale. And will she be picked up here? Varus with a double kill. Triple kill for Varus.
Very good play.
And that was a fail.
Yeah.
It was all about the effort, people. It's not about the actual result. A for effort, Lesbian Squirtle. But that was a team fight that went in the favor of bigger men. Again, they were able to pick up 3 for 2. And I honestly, that whole time, thought Kale was probably a dead man. She ended up picking out 2 kills there, getting a double kill. But Varus is the story of that fight. Triple kill and finished her Blade of the Rune King. Or his.
Yeah, well, he's now backing now, so to be able to spend that gold he just made. So it'd be interesting. Yeah, picking up a BF sword right off the bat there. Extremely powerful. You don't want to mess with him right now. Although Tristana does have her Infinity, it's the one big item that she needs to be a threat.
And despite all that, still only about 1,000 gold in favor of the bigger men. Everything is keeping at a very steady pace here. Lesbian Squirtle has picked up his Infinity Edge, so he's pretty strong. Now, I don't know if he's actually currently stronger than Varus with that Blade of the Rune King right yet.
In a duel between them, I would probably give it to Tristana, just because of her attack speed surge plus those crits. She was critting crit buff for 410, and a few of those crits would just completely annihilate Varus. Although Varus does have a lot of that burst, depending if Varus can get a full range, a full charge piercing arrow, he would probably win that engage.
Asian Sneaky Fellow going to be the one to try and start another fight here. Will catch out Elise. She will just go ahead and hop over that wall there, do those rates. Turning into the fight there, but here comes a flash, engage, and there was the Gragas barrel as a disengagement there. And Nasus will teleport in. It looks like there's going to be a fight here in the mid lane, and actually off to the side, Varus is trying to pick off Annie. Annie with the stun, but there's no way she's going to walk away from that one. There's the first kill of this fight here. Annie going down, and in the back in the mid lane, looks like we see a turnaround possibly coming in here from EzDunk. They are going to try and pick up on that Captain Asano Sejuani in the mid lane, but it looks like there's going to be the turnaround from Kokil and Thrilla. Everybody is just so low right now, and no one's actually falling.
Yeah, this is exactly how the last team fight went as well. Like everyone who's still alive, just really low. One single skill, single AoE. Like if Gragas didn't sort of, his ult knocked back some people, so it sort of was useful. But if he was able to get a 5-man ult, that would have secured those 3 kills there.
Yeah, that would have been a much different team fight. Yeah. Absolutely.
And same thing if Varus wasn't able to pick off Annie, the amount of AoE damage Annie can do would probably secure those kills.
Bigger men will walk away from that team fight. I believe it was a 1-0. So nothing too big, but still a win nonetheless, and they're just doing that all over the map right now. They're trying to take as many objectives as they can and get these little wins that they need, and they're keeping that gold lead. Sejuani might actually be caught out here with her. Will go down. She will just charge away. Annie trying to pick up that ward. Thresh Hook will miss, and Annie will pick up that ward. 30 gold. Big plays.
Yep. Don't want to get that Annie too bad.
Sejuani in the middle of the whole team there. I don't think she really expected that. There's the catch from the Elite. She will land the cocoon. And the Nasus has already actually burned the Wither, but there's the Gragas ultimate onto that Renekton. Renekton caught in the middle there. Hasn't popped his Dominance just yet. I'm not sure if he's going to. There will be the spell shield, or sorry, that shield coming in from Kale, but I still think the Renekton's going to go down here. He's being chased all around the map, trying to do what he can. Who's going to pick the kill up? It's going to be the Nasus actually picking the kill up. That's the only kill so far. Flaky D actually getting caught out, and he goes down as well. Lesbian Squirtle caught in the mix. Double kill coming in from Nasus. He's just going to keep going. Going to try and go for Sejuani. She will be able to dash over the wall, and there's actually a kill coming in for Kale onto that Thresh, as well as I believe he did pick up the kill as well onto that Elise. Gragas being chased and will just charge over the wall.
And now Nasus is there fighting Kale. Kale really wanted to get that kill there on Gragas, but just
overextended.
Yeah, that went extremely badly for EzDunk. Although a lot of members of bigger men were just really low and would have died if they got hit by one more skill. That's just not how it happened.
I believe that fight was actually at the end a 3 for 2 in the favor of bigger men. Bigger men just doing that whole we're gonna barely win a fight, but we're still gonna win it. They've been doing this the last 2 games.
Yeah, this is going very similar. Bigger men, it was even for a while, and then bigger men started to creep lead a bit, and now it's just going the same way, even lead, and then something happens, and the lead gets a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger, until EzDunk just can't have a full 5v5.
And this is what we kind of expect from the champions of Frag for Cancer 7. They are really trying to keep their dominance here over this tournament. They want this. They have something to prove here. They won last year, and actually I believe EzDunk actually defeated bigger men in a lower tournament earlier on this year. So the bigger men are coming back for some revenge here.
There's a lot riding in this match here, more than just the winning of this tournament itself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. We actually see the on the Renekton there. He has already gone ahead and completed his Sunfire Cape as well as the Spirit Visage, so he's pretty tanky as well. But Nasus is no slouch right now himself. He's sitting there with very strong with that Frozen Heart.
Yep. Just both very tanky members.
I think I give the advantage of the tanky front line still to EzDunk here. They have a pretty tanky team in that Sejuani as well as that Renekton, so we will see how that plays out here. But currently, Dragon has spawned, and there it is. Asian Sticky Fellow again trying to go in, try and maybe start up a team for fight for his team, but not really anyone there to follow it up.
Yeah, he tried to do some damage there, but ended up taking more damage than he dealt. But didn't really get caught out or anything bad happened. So.
Everyone kind of just posturing around this Dragon area. Dragon is already down. It hasn't spawned back up yet, so no one really looking to take that. So the fight will just walk. Everyone will just walk away. A lot of actual wards from bigger men around the Baron pit as well.
Yep, they don't want EzDunk to pick up a Baron because that could swing it in their favor.
Now that gold advantage is a little bit further ahead now for the bigger men. They are about 5,000, about 3,000, 5,000. Sorry, 4,000 gold ahead. My apologies, math.
This is, I believe, a bigger lead than what they had at the same point last game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They are sitting very strong in the commanding position right now. Still trying to keep everything together, trying to keep by the book is what they do. We could see another very long game, but right now EzDunk just needs to, they need to farm it out.
Yeah. Just these engages have been going quite even. Just bigger men just slightly getting the lead. Everyone really low. Just one more skill from one member from bigger men took the fight.
Exactly. Bigger men is finishing these fights where if the wind blew in the wrong direction, their members would die. So they are playing it really, really well. Definitely not taking anything away there. They're actually going to be engaged in the middle. Actually, Varus is going to whip his ult, but the Barrel will come across. A lot of damage on Annie. She will be picked up. Varus gets that with the piercing arrow, but in response to that, Thresh is going down. The supports are the only two who have died so far. Captain Asano might actually get caught out here. He will be forced to back away there. Renekton in the middle of the entire team there. 4 people onto him. The Kale ult will come across. He's going to try and pick up the Varus, but he's not going to be able to. The barrier will come out, and Asian Sticky Fellow is actually by himself. He will try and flash for that. Not able to pick it up, and everybody, again, is so low. And right now, Kale is going to try and pick up the Varus. She will, and this actually could be an ace.
Oh,
wow, a big ace coming in from EzDunk completely on a bad fight. They turn the fight around, and they are actually 4 members, only lose 1 member there.
Yeah, that was an amazing engage. Very well played by EzDunk. Same sort of thing that was happening the last time, though. Very even team fight, just EzDunk was able to pull it through.
Yeah, EzDunk definitely just took that team fight very, very commandingly, and I honestly did not see that coming. They turned the fight around what it looked like it would have been a very clear win for the bigger men. They took out the Annie almost immediately. The Tibbers ult wasn't, I don't believe, able to go down there, and she was out of the fight completely, but then just a quick turnaround onto the Thresh. That Kale is doing some serious damage with that Lich Bane.
That, the Renekton really, Asian Seeking Fellow and the Renekton really did a number on their team. Renekton ult, it doesn't move the bars quite as impactfully as like a burst damage, but the amount of damage it does over time, it has a over 1,000 damage base for the entire duration. It can do a lot of damage if you're forced to be within its area of effect. Plus plus Sunfire Cape, and he was just able to be right next to 3 people. Kale ult kept him there even longer, just being so tanky, doing so much AoE.
And the bigger man actually trying to sneak out a Baron. Tristana was able to get Nasus down to about half health, and here comes EzDunk from the side. There goes Captain Asano on that Sejuani. She's going to try and keep this Baron away from the bigger men, but bigger men are falling down. Kokilla Thrilla taking a lot of damage here. He is forced to back away. He's still doing damage from the back there. Nasus will fall. That is 1 member down here. Varus in the background, and there's Elise caught in between the entire team, and she will fall. Double kill actually comes out from Tristana, and here comes the chase onto Gragas. Can he get away? Captain Sano on that Sejuani is trying to catch up to him, and he will just be able to walk away. 3 kills for O, and that Baron doing exactly what we said it was going to do. It can cause some throws.
Yeah, they...
and it's not actually over yet. Annie will catch onto the stun, and Flaky D will actually pick up the kill onto that Gragas.
Yeah, bigger men... like they just should not have went for that Baron. They were a little bit, they lost that other engage and they just wanted to get back, but they didn't have a big enough lead. Baron is really where so many even games start to snowball.
And for the first time in this game, with that dragon, EzDunk is currently ahead of the bigger men.
Yeah, they really just threw their lead with that Baron there.
Yeah, that was a few thousand gold they actually just let go away there pretty much for...
They did manage to get Baron, though. At least outsmited Sejuani there, which was a good play on her part, but just wasn't
all
enough.
The important members died. There was no one really who can continue with that Baron buff.
It is worth noting that Elise stood there attacking Baron to try to get it. It was very, very close to smite range. Her and Sejuani were there attacking that Baron, trying to get it down, but...
And with that execute on the Q of Elise, she has that advantage, especially when it comes to buffs, when it comes to the smiting wars. So,
Sejuani may have thought that Sejuani backed off from Baron and started attacking the members of bigger men, while Elise just stood there still trying to kill Baron. They got Baron, but the impact that Sejuani had by saying, okay, yeah, you get this worm, I'm going to kill your team.
Exactly, and that's pretty much what happened there. Even though they picked up the Baron, right now there's really nobody important on the team who has it left, I believe. So that was a pretty good play. So overall, big win for EzDunk. They are, as mentioned, about 1,000 gold ahead here, trying to methodically go around the map and maybe pick up some more objectives. Any support actually doing pretty well for them right now.
Yep. It's also worth taking a look at Varus. It's a different build than what we usually see on Varus. What's been really popular lately is the quote-unquote Legolas build, where you go Bloodthirster, Black Cleaver, not Black Cleaver, Last Whisper, and just get as much attack damage as you can to emphasize your Piercing Arrow and Hail of Arrows over your standard auto attacks. But this Varus in this game decided to go the standard ADC route and has been very successful with that. In many of these team fights, just completely killing Annie. Annie gets just a little bit caught out, gets blown away from Greg Assault, and just gets picked off in a few shots by Varus's crits.
We're just taking a look at the wards here around the map. It looks like most of the wards being focused by EzDunk actually up by that Baron pit, while currently bigger men have a lot of wards in their jungle by their red side, so they are a little bit worried about possibly some invades there. Now that that bottom turret has gone down, actually they would be more worried about that. That kind of opens the map up just even more right now for EzDunk.
Yep. EzDunk knows they can win a fight right now. They have the better team fight, the better at this moment, and that's why they're grouping up 5 and taking objectives. Just baiting, just taunting bigger men to try to start a fight with them.
And Lesbian Squirtle right now, despite the fact that he's actually down 2 kills to that Varus, he's doing, I think, a lot more damage with his attack speed steroid.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why Tristana is such a strong late game carry, is her rapid fire gives her 90% attack speed, which is just insane.
Unreal, yeah.
In addition to having one of the highest base attack speeds in the game, and as many people know, how much benefit you get from attack speed from items and from buffs is directly proportional to the amount of base attack speed you have. The higher base attack speed you have, the more attack speed you'll get from these items.
Bigger man actually grouping up in the forest here, trying to potentially get a sneaky kill here. Annie will chase them out there. They're just going to back away. Dragon will be spawning in the next few minutes there, so they may actually try and contest that this time. I believe the first 2 dragons of the game did actually go over to EzDunk this game. So a little bit different from last game where they actually weren't able to pick up any dragons at all. So they are just going to keep their lead, and I think at this point it's EzDunk trying to just get the advantage around the map. They have the turret advantage right now as well.
EzDunk played very similar to how bigger men played last game with the dragons, just grabbing those before the other team could get in there, just grabbing them, and this dragon dies, and then the other team comes in and they're all ready for them.
Yeah, exactly. Captain Isano is pretty strong right now. Picked up her locket as well as her Spirit of the Ancient Golem. And he's actually going to catch out that Nasus. Forced to pop his ghost. He will be walking away from that one. That is a summoner for a stun. That is absolutely worth for EzDunk.
Yep. Just did not want to risk dying there. Did not know where the rest of the members were, so just took the safe bet and got the hell out of dodge.
About 1 minute and 30 seconds on that Baron timer. About 1 minute and 20 on that Dragon. Both teams have this timed out. They know when it's going to be popping up, and we can pretty much expect a fight going to be coming up here for those buffs. For those objectives. I don't think either team really wants to let it go. Actually, Agent Sticky Fella will get hooked, although the heal will come back out. It's kind of a standoff situation here. Everybody kind of just saying back off, back off.
Everyone's just poking. They're edging for a fight. Everyone's full health. Everyone has their big long cooldowns up, so that they're all ready to fight.
Everyone's feeling pretty strong right now.
Yeah, but both teams are still pretty even. EzDunk only has a 2K goal lead on Bigger Man, which isn't big enough to guarantee a win in any fights.
And EzDunk actually going to be backing away from that Baron pit for now. They actually don't have a whole lot of vision on that pit. So currently we are just waiting for them to go ahead and start that vision more. We did just get our picks and bans stolen by our admin. That was not cool. And there is that ward war again. A lot of oracles in these games.
These games it's a war of vision. That's the biggest thing. Vision leads to winning engages. If you have the vision on the enemy team when they don't know you can see them, that's huge. If you can get a good engage, if good engages, even if your team is behind, if you have, if you're not immensely behind, you can definitely pull out a win.
Nasus is actually split pushing in the bottom lane, does have his teleport available, so if there is a fight in the Baron pit in the next few minutes, it is now alive. He is ready to go. However, I don't know what he would actually teleport to.
Blue team's picking Baron, but...
and Baron is falling really quickly there. It looks like EzDunk is trying to get that as fast as they can, but there's the hook onto that thresh. He will be pulled into the entire team, and there's the Greg Assault actually over the disengaged. Robocop will be the first person to actually fall. Nasus is chasing after that Tristana, but he will have to back away there. A lot of damage going on to Varus. Varus actually falls, and it looks like a lot of damage coming in on the back line as well, and he's still alive. However, Gragas will be chasing double kill for that Kale, and Tristana will actually pick up another kill as well. That's 4 members down, and this is going to be a chase onto the Nasus. Will he be able to get away? He will pop that Wither, but it looks like he will be chased down. Who's going to pick up the kill? And it's going to be that Tristana for the ace.
Yep. Tristana just is doing so much damage right now, just completely annihilating any squishes, taking them down in 4 or 5 hits. And just whittling down the tankier members, just completely, extremely threatening.
This is a completely different EzDunk than what we saw from last game. They are taking the advantages, and they are taking them fast. They are going for the second inhibitor turret of the game.
Yep, all 5 members are alive and pretty healthy in their base, ripping it apart.
They're going to be able to pick up Baron as well as a whole, and I believe it was an ace, as well as 2 inhibitors and 2 inhibitor turrets. So that is an absolutely gigantic win. EzDunk, sitting about 8,000 gold ahead now. Yeah,
they're definitely feeling pretty good about themselves right now. They just took the lead and are just pushing and capitalizing on this lead much harder than Bigger Men did earlier this game and last.
And that's something that they're good at. They're very good at, once they get an advantage, they're very good at closing games. Yep. They know how to close a game, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that last game, even though they were behind to a greater and greater degree, they still went pretty even in a lot of these fights. A lot of it had to do with luck, with certain members getting away with 50 health, just so low, while other members just barely dying, almost getting away but getting hit by one last.
Bigger Men going to pick up a dragon for themselves. So you're going to try and pull the gold back a little bit there, 51.9 to 59.2. So they are significantly behind, but they are still in this game here. No, I don't think EzDunk is going to try and push for the win just yet. It looks like there's just going to be some wards going on here. Actually, most members of EzDunk in their base right now buying. And what are we coming back with? Kale she has that Lich Bane. She has that Nashers. She picked up a Void Staff. She has a Death Cap.
Yep. Kale has the 4 items that a Kale would need to just do tons of damage. Just huge amounts of sustained damage, with Righteous Fury having a very high AP scaling, plus Nashor's Tooth adding to that, plus the Offensive Mastery just adding so much AP scaling to her auto attacks, plus Lich Bane, which her Q, her Reckoning, I believe, has a 1.0 AP scaling, so that does a huge amount of burst, and then immediately following that is a Lich Bane empowered auto attack, which just does so much damage, so much. Very similar to like say Fizz with a Lich Bane. He Qs in and does a splash and just
serious
does damage.
Tristana, 7-1 right now. She has her Infinity Edge, she has her Bloodthirster, has her Fan Advancer, and has her Last Whisper. She's almost full build. Actually, she is full build. She has her Sash as well, just in case. She also has Cleanse, interesting to note. So she is really trying to avoid any type of... There's the first Cleanse popped, actually. Trying to avoid any type of CC. The Wither is being popped onto her. She is forced to actually rocket jump away.
Yeah, they're playing with these Withers very well. When Tristana's Withered, they're like just backing off, waiting for the goat, and then just going right back in.
CO Killer tried to actually get into the mid lane there, maybe put down a little bit more damage than he wanted to. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. There's Asian Sticky Fellow actually going into the back lane. There's a ultimate pop to everyone. Here goes the fight here. This could be the final fight of the game. There is the 20 ult capturing 3 members there. Robocop going down, double kill for Renekton. Everyone's going to be falling here from bigger men. Renekton is still in the front, taking all kinds of damage from Varus, but it actually isn't going to matter. 3 members already down for the bigger men, and this could be the final push of the game. EzDunk looking to actually end this game right now.
Yeah, and this is probably game for bigger men. And looks like we're going to have a 3rd game now.
This is a very exciting final. Game 3 absolutely going to be coming your way fairly shortly, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very exciting game number 2. EzDunk able to pick up a win very convincingly at the end there. It all really started from that Baron fight and kind of just snowballed out of control right there. We will be back with you very shortly with game number 3 right after a brief break. Thank you very much.